About this love. About this. About this love. About this love. Love. How you guys doing today? You are tuning into About This Love podcast with myself, Dale Skinner, and my lovely wife, Charel. Say what's up to my peoples.
What's up, peoples?
And again, you can always listen to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, YouTube, Audio Mac, and of course, Facebook as well. Yes, we are on Facebook too.
Did you say the YouTubes?
Yeah, I said YouTubes.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Tube to you, how we want to.
I thought she was going to forget. So today, I wanted us to talk about the supportive wife. What was it? Last week, we were watching this movie called The Banker.
She got angry.
I didn't get angry. It's just...
You got angry.
It just makes it... Anyway. No, I really was encouraged by The Banker. And more importantly, if you hadn't seen it, I think it's a great movie to go and see. And because I'm a wife, of course, I honed in on the wife, even though, the movie was surrounding these men who kind of not cheated the system, but worked the system in their favor. And this was based on a true story.
1950s, two black guys got into the I'll say real estate business and ended up buying a few banks. But of course, they had to use a white man as the face and the representative of their businesses because they were two black men. Just if they would have tried any other way, they would have got derailed by people who by people who are white. I mean, just keep it 100.
Well,
back in those days, they weren't gonna let no black man buy a bank or become, wealthy from real estate. But,
yeah,
the wives, the one guy's wife in the movie, she really, really stuck by him and really, really gave him some sound wisdom and sound advice at times,
Oh, you think so?
Nah, I know so.
I mean, that's the part about the movie that I actually loved. And it had me thinking just about the support of a wife, because I don't think he would have been that successful if his wife wasn't, support system for him. It was a couple times throughout the movie, and I wish that we had the audio clip so we could play it. But I guess, for copyright purposes, we're not going to play it. But go see the movie. Nia Long plays the wife. I don't know the actor's name who plays the husband, but I know Samuel Jackson is his, I don't want to say coworker, but he's in on the partner. Thank you. He's in on it as well. And I mean, he had a good team around him, I should say. But the wife, she really stood out to me. It made me think about supportive wives and how important that is for, husbands to really achieve their dreams, how important it is to be a helpmate, and I think that in today's culture where it's almost get the bag, be a boss bee or whatever. It's we forget that we also are, these gentle beings that can also sit back at times and just be the supportive wife. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? There's a time for that. Thinking back to the Proverbs 31 woman, it's she sometimes was in the house and she sometimes was in the market. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't just this cooking and cleaning, barefoot and pregnant woman. What I seen Nia Long's character do was throughout the movie, they showed her supporting her husband. A comment was made about her husband, and it was I understand it's hard for him because he's a black man. And Nia Long did say that, acknowledging that, yes, it's even harder for a black woman. And okay, I understand that, but not making this about, a race thing, but
you mean gender? No,
I don't want to make this about a race thing. I do want to make it about a gender thing because I thought talking about gender roles, I think that it's okay to kind of step back at times and support your husband because he is the head of the household and he is your partner. He is your mate, your life partner. And I think that that's not talked about a lot.
Well, I mean, when you talk about a supportive wife, I think oftentimes we lose sight of why God created a woman. God said it's not good for man to be alone, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to give him a helpmate. When you look at why God created the woman, because, the scripture is very clear that woman came from man. God created the woman, took him out of the man to help and support him. I feel like in most cases in a family, the woman actually has the bigger role than the husband, because if you think about it, when you think about a man who's married, when you look at his home, his wife probably did that, unless he's a interior designer. His wife probably did all of that. So it's like, in raising the children. Now they both take part. Now I'm not trying to make it seem like the woman does more than the man. No, but I think that oftentimes the role that God intended for the woman to have was very important. But the enemy made the woman feel like, well, you could do what he do, and you can go out there and be what he can be. And the reality is, no, you can't. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Cause God didn't create man and woman to be equal. Let's go ahead and keep it 100. He didn't.
Ooh, Dill. Don't say that. You're going to make some people mad.
He didn't create man and woman to be equal. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's one of the things that people lose sight of. We have lost sight of, which is why when you talk about a supportive wife, people do have a problem with that, because when you talk about a wife nowadays, you do see women who make as much money as their husband, and who are just as big as influencers as a husband, and that's fine. I mean, that's fine. I have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about Jada Pinkett in the Red Table.
And Red Table Talk.
Yeah, Red Table Talk. But it's like she's just as big as her husband, if not at one point bigger than him.
Well, hold on. So here's the thing. If you think about the timeline of, if you want to go to Will and Jada, the timeline of their relationship, there was a time where you did not see Jada. Like, she wasn't on the main, like, she wasn't on the forefront. She wasn't the main person. She had to take a step back and be with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But I think in marriage, you forget that as a spouse, there's a time where you have to take a step back and put some
for
things.
For both parties.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, for both parties. Like, you have to take a step back and be that support, because I feel like it becomes this competition thing. Like, yes, there's one thing, if we are doing something together, then it's like, okay, this is something that we are working on and we're building this together. But if you over there, like, you like music, Dale. So if you're over there and you're like, okay, well, I'm doing my music. Like, I don't care what anything else going on. I don't care what you got going on. And let's say I'm in school for something, or I'm working. It's no way that you would be able to work, do your music, take care of the kids, and me also, work, do school, take care of the kids without one of us being burnt out. Not to say that it cannot happen or it can't be possible, but I think honestly, there has to be some sort of give on some part, on one or both parts, but it has to be an agreement.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's just a part of marriage. It has to be an agreement. I think I was sharing with you probably about a week or so ago. I was sharing with you, I felt like the Lord put on my heart to just put some things down right now and essentially just focus on the children and our home. And really because I was getting burnt out. But of course, when I was, I first found out I was pregnant, and all these projects kept coming up for me to do. You kept saying to me, like, why are you taking on all these projects? Like, when are you going to have time? You're about to have a baby. You're about to have our child. When are you going to have time to do all of this? And in my mind, I'm just like, Lord, he just wants to keep me barefoot and pregnant. Like, what is going on? Like, he just wants me to be in the house. For some, I've heard in certain situations, not our situation, but for another situation, it comes from a place of control. And I understand that. Like, I can see that. I can clearly see that. But what you were trying to, like, get me to realize is that this is not like having one child. We're having multiple children. And, with the Rona going on, I definitely did not know that this was going to happen. I could not foresee that. But it was something that the Lord has put on your heart or in your mind to, like, consider. And it was something I did not consider, because let's say I had all these projects lined up to do, like, right after, we had the baby. It's like, okay, boom, I'm on a flight here. I'm going there. I'm, doing this. I got that going on. My hands is busy here and there. And then, like, our kids come home. You know what I'm saying? Like, the kids come home from school. Like, our oldest son is now home from school, and I have to homeschool him. That had been on my heart to do for years, to homeschool him, but we put him in school. And now that he's home, the different projects that I had, lined up, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm going to have to call you back on that one, because, saying I don't have time. And I see myself getting overwhelmed. I think that to support you more, to support the house more, to support the family more, I do feel as though the Lord has been asking me to take a step back from the things that I want to do.
And I feel like he's also like, I feel like when the Lord asks you to do something, or and you're obedient to that, he blesses you. Like, we've gotten we got checks in the mail. You know what I'm saying? Haven't been expecting them, but hey, God's good. So I feel like when we are obedient to the Lord, He definitely rewards our obedience. With things that we probably couldn't conceive of or couldn't have foreseen. So I mean, I think for a lot of women, I think it's first finding a man who loves you and who you love, that you can support and stand by him 100%, and understand that his success is your success and your success is his success. And likewise, if his downfall, is your downfall. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like behind every man, strong man, that there's a woman who has been beside him. Not even if they're not on the scene, or even if they're not well known, that they've contributed much of his success. I think about Nicki Minaj's ex-boyfriend, what's his name?
Meek Mill.
No, it's the other dude. Jamaican dude.
Safari.
Yeah, Safari.
Yeah.
He actually has written a lot of her material. I mean, again, he was behind the scenes for a long time. Bama's didn't know that she even had a boyfriend, and he said they used to bother him. Of course, they're no longer together now, but I brought that up just to say that oftentimes, people are successful. They are the face of something, when in reality, they're not even the one. They're not even the brains behind the situation. It's somebody else who we don't know. You know what I'm saying? I feel like oftentimes that's the supportive wife. And, I know society will tell you, well, people need to know who you are, and you need to be, on the front street and, toot your horn. But it's like, nah, just, sometimes it's just okay just to fall back and just to support your husband and in silence. Not, I won't say in silence, because it's not really in silence. It's not loud. And being
you're not on the publicized,
but your husband and your family know what you contribute to them, and know that they wouldn't be able to do it without you.
You know who I thought about? You gave the example of Nicki Minaj and Safari. I thought about the Obamas. I thought about Michelle and Barack. And
she's on the forefront too, though. So
no, I mean, no. This is something Barack said in an interview. I forget who he was interviewing with, but I seen it one time where this is after he had left office, and they were asking him, "How did you make it 8 years as Mr. President? Like, how did you do it?" And he honestly contributed that to Michelle, and he said, "I came home." And, after this stressful day, and asked her about her day. And it seemed like she had it so easy, but it made him happy to come home, and she didn't have such a tough day. And it actually brought joy back into, his life, to see that his wife was, not as stressed out as him, or not as, I guess, worked up. Because, I mean, two people who are married and just dealing with a lot on their plate, let's say, like, the second you come home from work, you've been stressed out and I've been stressed out. And then you say anything like, "Hey, how was your day?" It's almost like guns firing. I'm blowing up. Like, what? How was my day? I mean, how was your day? Like, It would be something dumb. And not to say that it's not valid in, like, how you're feeling, because you're both overwhelmed. You both have plates that are full. And how much more do you have to give to one another? And I mean, kind of going back to Nia Long's character as the supportive wife, I really liked what she said. I mean, and it kind of goes along with what you were saying about, like, as a husband, your downfall is your wife's downfall, and your come up is your wife's come up. And it's almost like, people around her family kept saying, like, "Why are you with him? Why are you with him?" And, she was like, "No, my husband will get it done. He said he will. It'll just take time. He said 6 months. I believe that he will get that done." And I think that, boosted his mood. That kind of reminded him, like, okay, this is why I'm doing it. And me as a wife, I feel as though, there's certain things that about your husband, like when they're feeling low, when they're feeling great about something, or when they're feeling terrible about something. And it's almost like in that moment where you see them being vulnerable. Like when I see you, Dale, being vulnerable, it's like I have the power to be like, haha, I can crush him now. This is just payback for, I don't know, whatever payback I felt the need that I held on to or whatever, right? Or, the other side is I can be like, okay, you know what? He's very vulnerable right now. He's very torn. Something didn't follow through. He got his hopes up. I could easily slide in, get into your ear and say, hey, babe, I know that didn't go well, but maybe we'll get him on the next one.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? I didn't think that would go too well anyways, but I'm glad you tried it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what will it cost me to give those words when, I see that you're being vulnerable? And I think that, women in society who want to be married or who already are married, who aren't practicing that. And not to say I do that every time, because I'm human and I have my low moments as well, but I'm practicing that. I want to do that more. And when I seen that, I recognized that in Nia Long's character as a supportive wife. And I'm like, wow, I want to do that more, because that's one less argument. You know what I'm saying? That's less frustration. I've heard from other wives that, I talk with throughout the week while you're at work. They say, what are the things that will create less friction in your marriage? And that doesn't mean becoming a yes woman or, hi, babe, that'd be great. And not having an opinion, not having choice, things like that.
Yeah. I think it's more so like knowing when to, cause like one of the other week we were on a call with a couple, and she said, one of the things that bothers her is when her husband leaves, a glass in the sink instead of putting it in the dishwasher. And she said, most days, she'll you say, hey, honey, can you get the glass, put it in the dishwasher? But she said, on days that he coming from home looking like he's defeated, probably not a good time to be like, hey, honey, can you get the dish? No, he already looks like he's defeated, or he's tired, or he's stressed out from work. Probably not a good day to tell him to get the glass out of the sink and put it in the dishwasher, because it might create an argument because he's already frustrated from work or, whatever. So just to kind of give you guys an example.
That is a good example.
That's something that could prevent a fight or prevent an argument, in a marriage. Because you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Something like, hey, you ain't put the toilet seat down. Put the toilet seat down, man. Bump that. Put it down yourself. It's just just something that can start an argument. Something that small could start an argument. An
argument that could start a whole feud for a week. It depends on what's already going on. Not to say like it depends on what's already going on in your marriage to start the argument or not, but it's almost like, if you're already on rocky or shaky ground with your spouse and you're trying to rebuild one another up, it's almost like, okay, you know what? I can just let that go. Yeah. I can let that go. Because sometimes we do have in our minds, like, I got time today. I got time to argue. I got time to carry on about something. I'm already frustrated. Somebody cut me off in traffic and I got time. Anything they say to me, like, I'm ready to go off. I'm ready, and it's almost like there's...
You're looking for a fight.
Yeah, you're looking for a fight.
And you can tell, too, because they get snappy. You like, I love you.
You trying to say something, Dale? You trying to say something?
No, I remember early on in our marriage, you would get mad, young. And I would be like, young, if you want to be mad, young, just be mad, young. But don't try to pick a fight with me. Like, if you want to be mad, just be mad, young. Be mad.
I hate to say it's like a woman thing where, it's just like, okay, I see something and I just got to say something, if that makes sense. Like, I see that, he's not doing this or he's not doing that right. But I think that's also like the curse of women that we have been given to try to control men, and if it's not checked, I feel as though we can like kind of go left with it and just, really run y'all around. And that's when you see like the man running around looking miserable, is when we're sitting there like, oh, well, why'd you breathe that way? Well, why are you slouching? Well, you left the light on here. I know people in my family. You and I have seen it where like the woman is running this person, like the man around. And it's like, oh, you left that light on. I don't like when you leave the light on. Well, why'd you walk down the steps that way? You're supposed to like step, hop, not hop, step, just stuff like that. And if it's not, and it sounds crazy, as I'm giving that example, but that's how crazy it sounds. And that's how crazy it looks when, it goes unchecked. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Yep.
So, just, to all the wives out there who are supportive of their husbands, say thank you. Even if others don't see the support that you've provided for your husband and your family, behind the scenes, just know that, I'm sure that they appreciate it, and that you will be rewarded for it. And it's funny. I want to say this real quick. It's funny because I was thinking to myself, I remember as a part in the movie when the man bought his wife, he bought that house, but he made it seem as if it was another
investment,
another rental property that he had bought. And she said, "This is nice." He was like, "Well, it's yours," And she, it just kind of reminded me that somebody once told me that there's nothing a man won't do, for a woman who he knows love him. He'll move heaven and hell and mountains to give her what she wants. And I remember like when I bought you the truck for Christmas, I was like, I love my wife. And basically my mom said, well, she can get anything, she wants out of me. It's funny because today, I sold something on Cash App. She was like, well, hey, can I have that? Can I have that money? I'm like, man, I actually had plans for it. I was going to buy some stocks with it, but I was like, it's fine. You had plans. You had plans with, oh, no, I was going to buy some stocks with it. I was looking at some stocks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But,
well, my birthday coming up, so don't feel so bad about him, trying to buy some stocks with that money. That's my birthday money.
For your birthday, are you going to give me the money? Give me the money back?
No, that's not how that works. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. That's how that works.
That's funny.
But no, I mean, but no, I definitely enjoyed this conversation with you today. And to the supportive wives who don't feel like they're being recognized, definitely the Lord recognized. And we don't always get our thank yous every day, every time. It's very difficult. The Lord sees your tears when you are struggling and overwhelmed. And I hope that this episode encourages you to continue to be that supportive wife, and do not lose hope when, you don't feel like the kids are thankful, or your husband is thankful, or, your job or whatever you're sacrificing for is thankful. If that's what the Lord has called you to do, and if that's what the Lord has called you to put down, then I would say don't be afraid of that. That is okay. That would be a very honorable thing, right, Dale?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, Stitcher, Google, iTunes, TuneIn, as well as, the regular YouTube, Audio Mac, and Facebook. That is where we host our podcast. And now we host them on all other platforms. So choose one and,
choose them all.
Or choose them all. Make sure you leave a comment on our Instagram or underneath, where the comment section is. We check them all. And,
Till next time, peace.